Hi, I'm in Pearl. I'm a partner at OGR Stock Denton, and given we're in lockdown, I thought I'd just take a few minutes to talk about one particular issue that's clearly going to be affecting many businesses at the moment. Everybody is normally entering into contracts to provide goods, services, etc. And the worldwide situation we find ourselves in is clearly going to give rise to many disputes regarding people's inability to perform. This will result potentially in disputes between parties and arguments over whose fault it was, whether it was possible to perform or not, and if it wasn't, who should bear the cost. English law adopts two particular methods of dealing with this problem and enabling potentially parties to walk away from a contract. And those two special species are known as frustration and force majeure. Frustration is simply, in a way, what it says. It's where the performance of the contract just simply cannot be done as a result of the circumstances that are arising at the time. Now, at the moment, it's quite obvious that on the face of it, many contracts won't be able to be performed. But the courts will look very carefully as to whether, in reality, any sort of performance is possible. By way of example, in the landlord and tenant relationship, even with the lockdown existing at the moment, a tenant is not going to be able to argue that the contract, the lease is frustrated. It's just not going to work. So there will be the ability to argue frustration, but as always, the courts will examine the facts in detail. A second species of walking away from the contract is something known as force majeure. Now, force majeure is quite specific to the contract. It is a clause within the contract, so you'll have to check whether you've got it or not. And it will set out expressly prescribed events and circumstances which will enable one of the parties to argue that the contract has not been able to be performed. And not only that, it will set out the remedies which will follow this terminating event. It will say which events entitle a party to declare a force majeure, how a party should notify the other party of a force majeure event, and how to deal with the consequences which flow from dealing with a force majeure event. All of these issues need to be considered very carefully, because if you declare a force majeure event incorrectly, then the other party can have a cause of action against you for breach of contract. As always, the devil is in the detail, but you should look carefully both at the events and your contract to see if you or the other side is required to perform or not. I hope this has been of assistance, and if so, and you require any advice in the future, please don't hesitate to contact me.